Yeah.
Oh, this is. Oh, love you. I think that was for them. Oh, thank you. This is pretty cool. Having you guys here in Salt Lake.
Yeah. This is a pretty big room.
Having a good time so far? Everything working out?
Yeah, it's nice. I got here at like 1 o'clock in the morning last night, and everyone's like, "How are you finding Salt Lake?" And like, the convention center is nice. But I'm gonna get out a bit tonight, I think. But everyone's been very, very nice. It's been a lovely experience so far.
We got a party going over here. I'll tell you later. I'm just happy to see you all clean for a change.
I don't know actually.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. Austin.
Cleaner.
Yeah.
Cleaner. Yeah.
I have a bigger beard, or I'm hairier.
It's impressive, I have to say. We're gonna get some questions from you guys here in just a bit, so start thinking of some really good ones. Some of you got all three of them here now.
Good, thought-provoking.
Thought-provoking.
So we had one actually great yesterday, unfortunately, that Tom, you would have enjoyed, because it was concerning the Brits and how the Brits, their accents. Why do the Brits do this sort of very specific Southern?
And why are they infiltrating into?
But it was interesting. I'm a foreigner too, so it wasn't like I was all of that.
And getting cast as American legends.
Like Hank Williams by
Brits.
Tom Hiddleston, which Austin just went off on. But it would have been good to have you today, yesterday. With that.
You've seen that, though.
What was it, Thursday?
I did see. Did you see that movie? How was it?
We're just going to talk about movies for a bit. Did you guys watch the?
I finally saw 3 billboards. All right.
I haven't yet. I need to.
Oh, it's really good.
You've never seen it?
Oh, I need to.
Did you see it in Bruges?
I have it. Yeah, I saw it in Bruges. Martin McDonough's great.
His new one. You know who's doing his new one? His new play?
No.
Just for all of you, in case you're visiting London.
They love it.
Actor talk. So.
At the Bridge Theatre, Martin's new one is now I'm blanking on his name.
Well, we won't be in it anyways, so it's all good.
But it's a great new play. It's about Hans Christian Andersen, and he has a fairy living upstairs in the attic, and it's at the Bridge Theatre, and he was in Moulin Rouge. He's a great British character actor.
Anybody?
Jim Broadbent.
Yes, Jim Broadbent.
Yeah.
Yes, bing, 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 bing,
Ding, 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 I'm British.
Yeah.
So, did you guys ever see being a jackass?
I was waiting to find out. Now, you guys essentially lived together for a very long time when you're working on
Essentially, you had an interesting odd couple housing situation with Xander for a while.
Uh-oh.
Steven and Xander lived together in Atlanta.
We were roommates.
Yeah.
Because of our shooting schedule, we were, decided
So
might as well get one place together then.
Yeah, because it was really interesting because on the show they're like in each other's faces all the time, and then they would go and live together as well.
So, because he was in LA a lot, so it did work out that we were never. I think literally we only had one meal together that entire 7 months.
See, I was going to ask who the Oscar, who was the Felix in that relationship.
We didn't really spend a lot because we were shooting, or he would go back to LA, so that's why we did it, just so we could. Did you guys ever see that movie?
Oh, dying to hear it. So, but when you're all essentially living together down there in the South, where it's being, the weather, that's got to be rough for you. I mean, there's shock, and then there's the weather shock, the culture shock, and the weather shock. I'm sure relationships get formed and friendships are made, and everybody talks about Andrew Lincoln being kind of like the dad of the whole situation. Did you guys each have roles, like the mean brother or something like that?
Outside of the show?
Well, while you're working together,
Because outside of the show, like Andrew's, he's certainly the leader, the number one, setting the mood, the tone, everything for the show. But outside the show, he sticks to doing his thing.
I think it depends on the show. When I joined the show was when the show started to fracture off into different groups. And so before that, it had been like Rick's group, and they go here and they do this and blah blah blah, and they travel around. And then they ended up in Alexandria. And then when I came in, it split off into Hilltop and Kingdom, and then Sanctuary. And so, as much as behind the scenes, like I didn't work with Andy that much after the first season, and obviously we saw him, because you see each other at different times during the filming period. But the people that you spend the most time with, that you form your own little group. So you guys were at the Sanctuary together a lot. Yeah. And then there's Hilltop and Kingdom. And then the Kingdom became really, really close. It's just the people that you end up spending the most time with, really. Because we also all live in Atlanta. It's not like we go and stay in a hotel close to set. I mean, you do when you first join, but that's when most like you all go to the bar at the end of the night and you all bond in the bar most of the time. But generally, like at the end of the day, everyone just goes back to wherever they're living. So it ends up being, we've actually done more bonding at these than on the show. Like I worked with Stephen like once, I think, on the show. And Austin maybe once.
One scene.
Yeah.
But on that show, you don't always work together, that's the thing.
Right.
So yeah, we do form our relationships more based on, even if in Atlanta, like what are you doing this weekend? There's a show where we go see something, we go for dinners together. And we used to have a little play reading group, that was our thing.
Yeah.
We'd all get together, and it was actually a Martin McDonough play we would read. With Lauren Cohen was, she played the young girl, Lonesome West. So we used to do play readings together.
Xander would fall asleep.
So he would get so angry. It would be Pollyanna. There was a bunch of us doing play readings, and Xander, he would get so angry, like, guys, take this seriously. Even if it's a play reading, let's do this like serious.
It's true.
And he'd fall asleep. And then.
Sounds like you're
Did you guys
working.
see that
while you're
TV
working.
show? It was
Which one?
Based on.
This is never going to end, by the way.
Let's open it up to the audience then. It's called FanX for a reason. So let's start here.
Hey, so first off, I want to say thank you guys for coming to FanX. It's really awesome to see you guys here. I'm a huge Walking Dead fan, and my question is for Tom. So, how do you feel about Jesus trying to rebel against Rick?
Yeah, how far can we go?
I wasn't very happy about it, if I'm honest. It kind of came out of the blue at the end of the season, and as it did, for everyone and for me as well. So it took me, I had a bit of a struggle with it, honestly. But I trust in the writers and what they're trying to do. And the thing about that is that we're never really told in advance where the story is headed or what's going to happen and how that will be resolved, etc., etc. So I had to just say the words and hope that it was all going to work out well in the end. But funnily enough, someone came up to me today, because often I get people who are like, well, you're not going to do anything against Rick, are you? But today, I had someone come up and go, yeah, you are. Yeah, you're going to get Rick and Negan, because he did the wrong thing. I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess there is the other side to the conversation. But for me, it was an interesting thing, because the whole season he had been like, no, we can't do this, no, we can't. I think in that moment, it's more about placating Maggie and making sure that he still has her ear, in that moment, and not wanting to be completely anti whatever position she's in, because he doesn't want to isolate himself, because he understands that he still has some power of persuasion over her. So I think in that moment, he's not like, yeah, we're going to absolutely go and kill Negan. He's more, yeah, we will, because I just want to make sure that I'm still there with you, and maybe we can have a conversation about this later on. Yeah.
Next.
Hey, so I guess my question's for all of you. And if you were Rick, would you have decided to kill Negan or save him?
Would you have killed Negan? Yeah.
Kill him.
Kill him. Definitely.
Well, he never really did anything to me personally. I mean, he killed this guy and he burned this guy's face and, all that stuff. But with me, like, I don't know. He killed Maggie's husband, I guess, but we haven't known each other that long. And you know, second chances are everything. I honestly, in that instance, I think Jesus is definitely, like, going back to the previous question as well, like, he would go with whatever decision Maggie went with, to be honest. Because, yeah, he doesn't, I mean, he had that instance when they first came to the hilltop and beat a kid to death. But he hasn't been really personally affected. So, but he would go with whatever Maggie's decision was, I think. So if Maggie decided that's what she wanted to do, then I think he would respect that.
I think there is something to say about just putting him in jail and letting him rot.
Oh yeah, well, that's the other thing.
Because you know there's a window, right? Like death is coming, so that's all you're pretty much looking forward to. I think that's...
Oh yeah, like eventually it's gonna happen.
You know? Like I would just like to let him rot in his thoughts.
Yeah, but he's got a chance to get into your head now, you know?
No, I'll just feed him dog sandwiches and torture him.
Also an option. Go ahead.
Hello again. So I was curious, what is like the strangest place any of you have seen your face put up?
Strangest what?
Strangest place you've ever seen your face either painted up or displayed somewhere?
I had my first tattoo got sent to me the other day. Someone had my face tattooed, and it wasn't like a drawing of me, or it was like actual, okay, that's my face on someone's body, which is completely bizarre.
Do we know where?
Yeah, it was on their arm.
Oh, thank
and
you.
I mean, like, I know, like, Norman, there's obviously people have done that a bunch of times, and, you know, sometimes people come up and like, hey, and you can't tell who it is, and that's not good. It's not a good situation. But, yeah, I had my first face. That was weird. That was on a tattoo. That was strange.
I think those are always the strangest, the tattoos.
Yeah, when your face is on, like, permanently.
I'm on your body for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty intense.
I'd say that. Although I have to say, even with I mean, the face is the weirdest, probably the strangest, like when, well, even with all the billboards, but I think when the video when the Grand Theft Auto came out,
See, I was going to bring that up.
That was quite weird because it was, I mean, Walking Dead too, it was all over the world, but when they were doing these huge, you know, all over the world, like getting pictures of these enormous billboards of just the character, that was pretty wild.
Well, and you're still alive in that universe as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's still, like, continuing to be crazy Trevor.
Yeah.
Next question.
My question is for Mr. Payne. First of all, I would like to thank you because now I can officially say I've had my come to Jesus moment.
We'll leave it at that. No one has to know the details.
What is the greatest thing about playing Jesus and why?
One of the best things about being an actor is that you get free tuition on stuff. So you might learn how to ride a horse, or you know, you might learn to do something cool like be a ninja guy. And you know, that's pretty awesome because that stuff's not cheap. So that's been really fun. I'm kind of amazed that they hired me without asking any of those questions of, so do you think you could do this and do that? And I'm so happy that it turned out that, you know, I was capable, and because you don't want every time there's a kick or something that it's obviously a stunt guy. So that's been really, really fun, that side of it. And I had a meeting, like a Hollywood meeting, with some producer who was talking to me about this martial arts thing, and I was like, wow, I never in a million years, like I come from England where we do like period drama and all that kind of stuff. I never thought that there's a possibility that I could be that guy who busts down a door and kicks someone in the face. I mean, it's just like, wow, cool, that could be like a Liam Neeson moment of just complete career diversion. But we'll see. But that's been the most fun, definitely. Like, to add a new string to my performance bow.
I always thought it was if you're an actor.
Expendables 7.
Yeah. Expendables 7.
It's amazing. It's coming out 28,000.
Yeah, we're going to film it in Bulgaria. It's going to be great.
I always thought as an actor, if they ask you, can you ride a horse, you just say yes. And then
Oh my god, the horse thing. So the horse thing, I have ridden horses before. I did a TV show where I was a jockey, and like I have a decent amount of riding experience. But what I have learned is that if you don't want to have a difficult time on set, don't let it be known that you're decent on a horse, because they will give you the most difficult one, because they have like the easiest ones for the people who aren't so great. So you will be given the most difficult horse, and horses are a lot of stress on a set, but it is a great thing. That's also a great skill to have. And yeah, I've been taught how to ride a motorcycle, how to ride a horse, how to be a ninja. You know, all this kind of stuff is really, really cool, and I'm grateful for that.
You're an excellent ninja.
So my question is for all of you. So what was your inspiration to go for all of the roles that you went for?
I needed to pay my bills. I mean, really. I hadn't worked for about a year before I took this job, and the audition came in, and I was like, yeah, that sounds cool. I'll go and do a few days of The Walking Dead. I need to eat food, but then I mean, it turned into this much bigger thing. But the reality is you never get to choose, really. You certainly never get to go, yeah, I want to be on the biggest television show in the world for a few years. Yeah, that'd be great, I'll do that, easy. That doesn't come along very often, and I think we all got pretty lucky with it.
Certain people, obviously, with, depending your clout.
Depending on your clout.
Depending on your clout, you can you get offered, but I think for most of us, it always comes down to an audition. So you have an opportunity to audition for certain projects, and then it's whether or not you go through the process. It could be a callback process, whatever, and then it's really your decision whether you want to be involved in the process. But it's not like you're getting something offered to you, like, hey, do you want to be in The Walking Dead? Do you want to do this and that? You still have to go for it, and then it's your decision as an actor whether it's a project you would like to take, or even go for initially.
Austin?
I just remember the writing being really good. Even, they'll give you, for the audition, you get a fake name. I think my fake name was like Kirk. I had no idea I was auditioning for Dwight, but the little monologue that they had.
What were your sides? I'd be curious to hear what you auditioned with and what you did.
Mine was the first monologue I had with Daryl in the woods when I point the gun at him and I say, "Are you calling me stupid?"
So it was the Dwight.
So it was that. It was actually, we used the piece in the audition for the first episode.
Mine was real too. What was yours?
Yeah. Mine was completely fake. I think my character was called Jason. And I was going into a bar and talking to the girl behind the bar about why I broke up with her sister. Whoa. And she really blames me, and halfway through she slaps me. And yeah, I mean, God, all that kind of stuff. If you do
how does that have any representation of Jesus?
I have no idea. Because he had to be like a bit mischievous and charming, I guess, and like. But one of the things, if you're ever doing an audition, one of the hardest things is like throwing a punch at someone or being. So in one of my audition tapes, she slaps me, right? So you have to like be slapped. But I was doing it on my own. Like I was actually doing it over Skype with my girlfriend who was reading the lines with me. And so you have this moment in the tape where I go. And then I come back into shot. It's so bizarre. But yeah, and then I had no idea what the part was. I didn't until I got the job. And my agent was like, "Oh, we think it might be this guy." And I'm like, "Oh, that guy's kind of a big deal. That's fine."
It is the weirdest thing. Mine was 3-page monologue for the next day, which is a bit of a panic. You're like, oh, and the 3-page monologue was Negan's speech that he gives.
So did you think you were auditioning for Negan?
Well, I didn't know, because I didn't know the comic books, I didn't know anything. I mean, I'd heard rumors about Negan, and people had always said, you should be Negan on The Walking Dead, and so it was that chunk of
I'm just looking at the little girl that asked the question. She's like...
She's falling asleep. She's like, did you guys ever see the movie with the
simple question, guys.
Cartoon, the fairy tale?
Simple question.
You're learning about the business. You're learning about the business.
I just saw her go...
Well, I saw you looking back, that's your dad, right? I think immediately after you asked, you were done with us, you were just looking at your dad and filming, and...
Go ahead.
We don't even listen to your question anyway, so... Joke's on you.
So my question is for Steven. I'm a big fan of the GTA series, and I was just wondering, you added anything, like mannerisms or lines to Trevor at all, like any mannerisms?
Oh, improv?
Yeah.
No, it was all scripted. I think Ned recently said a couple weeks ago, it was like 3,500 page script. So they basically supplied everything. And I think the best thing for any actor is when if people think you have ad-libbed or improv'd, because that means it's looking like it's off the cuff, as opposed to you're saying the words that were written, but they were all written.
It's like a Terrence Malick script.
Did you guys see that Terrence Malick flick?
Still going on that, huh?
Yeah. Next.
My question's for Austin. The last time we saw Dwight, he was leaving,
Yeah.
riding off into the sunset.
Yeah.
Are we going to see him searching for Sherry?
I think he's been doing that. Right? I mean, I don't know. Hopefully. It's pretty much the whole point of my character, so if I'm not searching for Sherry, I'm dead.
Kill me.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see it go that way. That would be nice, you know?
We all want to see you get back together.
I would just like to see Dwight sort of just go into a super dark journey, you know, where he just has to do all this crazy shit in order to find her.
Because it hasn't been dark enough. Yeah.
Darker. I need it darker.
Having your face burned with an iron.
Darker.
Okay, cool.
Burn my body.
We're learning a lot today. Go ahead.
All right, so I've been reading the comics since they pretty much came out, and to see the physical representation of Jesus and Dwight is just friggin' amazing.
Disappointing.
You guys nailed it. My question with Rick leaving the show, with the rumors of Maggie leaving the show, these are two of the iconic characters that carry through the Whisperers War. And with Negan and his introduction to Alpha, who's going to take over to lead?
We're voting for Jesus over here.
Come on now.
Come on, man. Come on. I don't know. I mean, I think that's an interesting problem.
Doesn't Dwight take over the Alexandrians at some point?
No, yeah, he takes over the sanctuary.
Who does?
Oh, someone told me the other day that at some point further along in the comics, he takes over the Alexandrians.
I think he-
Maybe they're
Carl.
lying.
Oh, Carl, why can't he take over?
Because he's dead.
Kidding, relax. I've seen the show before, once. I saw this really good movie.
Who knows? I never know what they do. They can either, you know, follow the comics or create something and...
I think it seems that's
Go
what's
off.
happening now, is they're obviously going to have to start
Yeah,
hearing
right.
more from the comic books.
Yeah, they're remixing stuff, and other characters will step up and step down. And oh wow!
This is above Daryl.
In a sexual way?
Jesus on top?
Well, Daryl isn't in the comics, right? So it's a whole different scenario. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's interesting because I don't think, you know, out of the group, if Rick does leave, who is a natural leader? Maybe there isn't one. Maybe it's Michonne. Maybe it's Daryl. Maybe it's, you know, who is it?
Michonne would be a good leader, no?
Michonne would be good. Carol would be a good leader. Let's go here.
I am a huge fan and I'm so excited to be doing this, but I also thank you guys for coming. My question is, I'm also a very huge zombie fan, so Greg Nicotero is amazing. Is there any zombies in that he did on the show that you guys actually were literally scared of?
That team, Greg's team, can be just do the most amazing stuff, and I know they have a ball of a time like creating new walkers each time. Like the most memorable ones that I remember are from, I can't remember, it was 8 or 7 when they had the ones with all the barnacles on. They were amazing, the Oceanside ones. Like, and the thing about them is that up close, that's what they look like. Like, so for us, it's kind of amazing to work with. Like, that's what they look like.
Each one is like a piece of art, you
Yeah.
know? See him walking. I like the swamp walkers.
Yeah, wasn't that the ones with the barnacles and stuff? No, which ones?
That was when we were, I guess when Daryl and them were cruising through and you just kind of see one come up and then get shot.
Yeah.
You know, it just sinks back into the swamp.
I didn't feel so good the day when when the zombie, when Simon, you know, was on the fence there, and they had the zombies next to me, the guts coming everywhere, and they used stuff that it's just, that was gross. I didn't like that. There's blood everywhere. And the guts are like, ew.
He's a sensitive fellow.
Like real Pinkertons, right, or something?
Yeah, there's.
It's like a combination of a lot of stuff. Go
Say
ahead.
that?
So this question is for
Me.
Austin?
Yeah, right here.
Okay.
No.
That was
One
Tom.
back here. Yeah,
Tom?
not you.
We both have long
Not me. I don't feel so bad. You got their names
One
wrong.
back
So
here.
this question.
What's the question?
For Kari.
Go.
Alright, so why did you start growing your hair out?
When?
No, why?
Why? Because when I first joined the show, I had like a much shorter haircut, and the character is from the comic books, and he has long hair in the comic books and a beard in the comic books. So when I joined the show, they put extensions on me and a fake beard, and that's not very comfortable, basically. And it's never going to look as good as growing out the real. I mean, when we were filming that first episode, I had all of these clothes on, this big leather coat and this vest and woolen hat and a beard and fake hair. It was just a lot of stuff. So before I came back the next year, I want to do the best job I can, so I want to look like the character. What that does mean is that I have been this character in my personal life and on the show for the last 3 years, which is like a lot of guys on the show, guys and girls on the show, can get away with not being recognized a lot because of various disguises, or just because you just don't, look super, you don't have a beard and long hair. Even if I tie my hair up and wear sunglasses and stuff, it's very obvious there's a beard and, But I wanted to do it because you wanna look like the character, and at the end of the day, I can
And
say,
he fucking loves a good man bun.
that's coming. That's coming. You gotta play with it.
Excuse my language, by the way. I had nothing to do with this.
Stephen, you've been working very hard on your beard too, and we appreciate that.
My what?
On your beard. Your beard.
Oh, I'm shooting something right now which requires the beard.
Okay.
Oh, he's shooting something else right now. It's not a movie, but it's something fun. Good for you.
Let's get another question.
So my question is for all of you. Which was the most fun cast member to work with?
No one up here.
No.
I have a good time with Jeffrey Dean, just because it's. Well, I'm just kidding. I worked with him a bunch too. We had a great episode. I thought that was really fun. But Jeffrey Dean, it's fun because me and him both get a kick out of how much of an asshole Negan is to Dwight and the stuff that he has to say to me. So, I mean, most of the time we're like crying from laughing, because it's just like, wow, man, you're relentless on me. It's insane. So that's pretty fun. That's a good time.
I had a good time. I mean, I had a really good time with Lenny last year with the fight that we had and just like working. He's just such a great actor and a great guy. And we're both British, so we could just talk shit about American stuff. Not really. Our careers to America. He's right. He's great. That is right.
Welcome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hope you're enjoying your successes.
Very much so. He's a great guy. It was really fun to work with him. Just kidding.
Stephen?
Xander Berkeley and I had a lot of fun just initially because I was really the first person that I was working a lot with, and both Xander and I had very similar sensibilities as actors and also what we wanted to do in the show, bring something to it that we both realized we met up on.
Well, you were his Negan, pretty much.
Yeah, in a way, it was that relationship. So that was rather fun. So I think just from that was the first sort of introduction that we both had. That was fun.
All right. Next.
Hey there, my question is for Tom. What is the product you use in your hair? My daughter killed the mill. And the videos you do on thewalkingdead.com, the training videos are awesome.
Oh, the training. Yeah, thank you. It's not. So it's whatever's lying around at the time, like in whatever hotel I'm in. But honestly,
Naturally beautiful.
naturally,
You don't have to do anything.
it's vitamins and a healthy lifestyle.
Just the California air.
Good energy.
California air. I honestly, I don't know.
Just beautiful smile.
I
It
don't
just
see any
radiates and
different
makes
people.
one luscious.
People come up to me and they talk about it, and I'm like, what do you mean? Your hair looks great as well. Honestly, I think it's that I haven't spent my whole life messing with it, and it's only been this long for 2 years, and then I haven't.
Okay, enough about Tom's hair. Next question.
But thank
I
you
was
very
getting
much.
bored.
I'm very proud of my name.
This question is about Tom's eyes.
Oh. Look, we almost made it to the end. We almost made it to the end.
Seriously though, I was watching this awesome movie and I'm looking at that guy and I'm like, who is that? Those eyes. I IMDb'd it. The movie was The Physician and it stars Tom Payne and it was awesome.
Thank you.
And so I was just wondering what it was like to go from like England to Arabia, and there's a really dramatic scene where you have to operate on yourself, if you'd like to talk about that.
Oh my god. I remove a part of my anatomy during that movie to become a Jewish person.
Oh, you snip yourself?
Yeah. In the middle of the desert.
And Tom, being the committed actor that he is. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom's penis. It's still a fucking mess. Really botched. But it's cute. He ended up getting a tattoo on the inside. Little smiley face, little emoji.
Oh, show it. Show it.
Utah wants to see it. Big shout out to Utah.
This is the time and the place. I'm just feeling it right now.
Can't wait for the headline tomorrow.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's a movie in which I do that to myself.
There's some things you shouldn't learn on YouTube, you know what I'm saying?
No, I don't know if you can find that on there. Maybe. Anyway, it was a very fun movie. It's medieval times, and it was my first big lead role, and it was great. It's on Netflix.
And if you get the Blu-ray version, there's a training video similar to what he did with The Walking Dead, which he shows how to snip and slice.
But you know, it was like that thing from Friends where Joey like recreates his piece. That
I never saw Friends.
Well, you did.
What? He's a busy man.
It's Canadian.
Never watched The Godfather either, speaking of movies.
Oh my god. Boo.
All right, that's you two. You two, your assignment now.
Yeah.
We're working on it.
Let's get
It's been a long couple of years.
Hey guys,
let's get the next one.
thank you guys for coming out to FanX here in Salt Lake. This question is for Steven. If your character was still alive, would he be reluctantly to surrender to the hilltop, or would he still continue fighting by grabbing a few?
I think Simon would have probably, because he didn't want to really lead and, take over the sanctuary. I think
the drummer in the back.
I think he would have just added like an outpost probably and been, which he had anyways. I mean, he had his own thing. I think he would have just gone on his own and collected some people that he had around him, as opposed to surrendering or taking over.
All right. Next question.
My question's for Steven. Steven.
Most of it's natural. I had it quite recently. I mean, it's grain, but yeah, it's kind of fun,
Yeah, that's
what I have to work with. Sorry, was that?
It's lovely. That's all well and good.
Sorry.
So you hinted that you have a project right now. Can you give us more than just a hint? Is it a movie? Is it TV?
Oh, it's Snowpiercer, based on the movie. The series. And it's a TV show that's for TNT, Netflix around the world, June of next year. So it's pretty, Daveed Diggs, Jennifer Connelly, an amazing cast, and it looks incredible. Like we're on the studio with these trains, and it's exciting. Going back there on Tuesday, so I'm very happy.
You're playing like the lead love interest character.
Yes, I am the innocent young boy on the train, just finding his way, but always has a song in his heart. So it's something a little different for you kids to see next year. And I actually have this whole circumcision scene. So it's And so Tom has been teaching me. It's exciting. It's called,
Well, I like to see
Penis Piercer, coming next.
I like to
next
see
year.
actors work together. Let's get another question.
This is for Stephen. I'm the one who told you to get off the stage because you haven't watched Friends.
Oh.
So I would
Well, I
like
have
to...
watched bits of it. Let's
Okay,
clarify
that
so everyone
doesn't
doesn't
count.
get
That
worked
doesn't
up.
count.
I just don't sit and watch
No,
Friends.
but you, okay. Now that Simon is out of the picture, will you finally have time to sit down and watch Friends?
We'll have time to watch Friends. I mean, how many seasons did they have?
10.
No. It was a limited series.
It's kind of dated now. Like,
Is it?
No.
Does it hold up?
With the kind of like,
Yes.
it's just all white people doing white people things.
Yeah.
It's very like, but
America?
it's still, whoa!
Kidding, America. We love you, America.
Okay, now Tom, you're going to be on my shit list. You can't do that.
You know what I saw today?
Moderator, step in, for God's sake. I'm ready to die.
If she hits
Getting fights and penis cuts off.
We still have one in the background in our house, honestly.
I've got a
Netflix.
full one right here.
I still love the song. That still makes me happy.
That's the song you have in your heart.
Let's get one final question up here for these guys. We have time for one final one. Do we have any? Right, yes, please.
Oh, I was saying this family here, we have
One Walking Dead fan out of this whole convention.
We have there's puppies down in our green room, and I was saying we should have the puppies, and then your family should be in another one, because it was that you guys were a lovely family. I was like, I just want to hang out with you guys.
We have cute littles. We do. Okay, so I want to know a little bit about, because I know you get it one episode at a time, so you don't know what, you can't foresee what the future is, and that doesn't always follow the comic. So can you each tell us a little bit about your process as you prepare to play the episode, what you're going to do with your character, how you kind of foresee it, or what you try to do?
It's the work.
Yeah, it's actually one of the things that I am looking forward to doing whenever the show ends for me is having a project which I can see a beginning, middle, and end in. Because episodic television is really tough in that regard, because it's hard for you to sketch out a character. And we get asked all these questions about your character all the time, and of course we know our characters really well, but at the same time, the writers can sometimes throw a curveball or something which we hadn't even seen coming, so that it has been a bit difficult sometimes. Like the end of last season, when that scene came in, and I was like, huh? Like the whole season I've been doing this, and so it's hard, and you just have to play the truth of the moment, whatever scene you've been given. But yeah, we do it episode by episode. It's an interesting way to work.
Stephen? Austin?
Oh. What's your process? We would actually run lines a lot together in the, what was that graveyard we'd walk around?
I don't know, it's in Atlanta, but it is difficult because you only get if you're lucky, you'll get a week in advance, with a 60-page script. And I know some TV shows work way quicker, and then, most of the time it's like 3 or 4 days when you get like the final script, and you're like, fuck, okay. So you just dive in for 3 or 4 days. And it's the same thing that Tom was talking about. You have no idea where your character is going. You sort of have this, general speculation, but besides that, it's like, I don't know, you just go in and you do what you're doing for real in that moment, and hopefully they write for you after that. Or, the writing makes sense.
Or they go, wow, you messed that up. Kill him in the next episode.
Right. But it is fun. I honestly like having kind of a shorter amount of time. It's like who can pull their gun quickest. It's like, all right, we got 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, there's good and bad with it. I mean, the process for me is repetition, like reading things ad nauseum.
But then sometimes when you have too much time, it's like, you could work on a painting for 100 years, but if someone said, hey, you got to get this painting in by next week, you got to finish it, So
yeah, there's good and bad when you have. I know for us as actors for auditions, sometimes if you have too much time to work on it, it becomes in your head. Whereas sometimes if you're just given something and it's a cold reading, it's more instinctual and you can have a better performance. So it's sort of like a script too. You want to keep it fresh, but you want to go over it and over it and over it. So it's a tough balance, but it's different. Like I did a half-hour sitcom where we were given 8 pages that morning. As we're doing the camera rehearsal blocking, you're reading pages you've never seen, and then in 2 hours, once the lights and cameras are set, you're filming.
Right.
It's kind of cool because you literally just have to go with it, but it's very nerve-wracking for this thick skull to take that in.
We're gonna wrap this up, but just real quick. Have you seen any good movies lately?
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
An amazing movie you have to go see is Blaze. Ethan Hawke directed it. It's about the folk singer Blaze Foley, who's good friends with Townes Van Zandt, in and around Austin, Texas, and it's a different type of film because it's like a music biopic, you know, which is, I don't know if it's gonna. Hopefully, it gets the press it deserves because it's an incredible film, but it's a little more slow paced, not as Hollywoody, bang bang. For 2 hours, then you're out and you're like, what the fuck just happened? Yeah, you know, CGI stuff, but go see Blaze. It's awesome.
Salt Lake City, say thank you.